Hello, this is a review of the Caran Blue Sapphire Lemon in volume trim. And let's get into the packaging the pen comes in. It comes with this red box, and you open it up. It's a medium nib. It's also another red box. It comes in this foam thing, and bottoms like inks and just regular stuff. Now let's get into the pen itself. This is the Caran Lemon, which is their flagship pen. This is the older model, the older logo. This is the Blue Sapphire. As you can see, it has the older Caran logo. It has a pretty stiff clip, but it's very practical. And it's blue lacquer, as you can see. It says Caran on the band. And yeah, that's about it. There's not that much branding besides that. As you can see, the finish is called Blue Sapphire. It's a lacquer finish. It looks very nice, as you can see. And it's a twist-on opening. You see a ring as well. That's what makes the pen sealed. And the nib section is also lacquered. So it makes for a good, comfortable hold, which is one of the things I like about the older ones. Newer ones are metal sections, which are uncomfortable for me most of the time. And it has the 18 karat medium nib. It has the old Caran logo design. It's a beautiful nib. It has a plastic feed as well. And the nib section tapers, and it's very comfortable for me. The nib section can be uncomfortable for some people, but for me it's perfect. The nib is very smooth and just a joy to write with. And it's not a big nib, as you can see, but it's a comfortable nib. Let's get a size of how the pen measures up. We have the Tomoe 146, which is not a big pen, but it's pretty longer than this, and still a bit thicker, as you can see, especially in the section once I show it. The Pelican 1005, and as you can see, the Caran this is the Grand Blue finish. This is a newer Caran Lemon version, which is a little bit thicker than the older version, and I have a Caran Lemon in the red finish with gold trim. And I also have a Caran Lemon, the older version also, with black trim. Can you tell that I like Caran Lemons? And I'll give a comparison to 146. You can see 146 is still longer when uncapped. And in terms of nib and nib sections, you can see it's slimmer than the 146. So it might be a problem for some people, but I like it. The nibs, as you can see, 146 is slightly bigger than the Caran Lemon nibs, but not by much. I really enjoy the Caran Lemon nibs, and I think they're adequately sized. I think if it's too big, it might not look good with the proportions of the pen. And it's a monotone nib. It's a silver trim, volume trim, as you can see, whereas the 146 is a two-tone nib. As you can see, uncapped, the 146 is pretty much the same size as the newer Lemons and same width as well. So if you want a thicker pen, thicker Lemon, then you go with the new version, but it's a metal section. And this is a cartridge converter pen, which is like a normal cartridge. Holds good enough ink. I inked it up with Caran Organic Brown, which is one of my favorite inks. And the nib is a little bit on the wet side, so it takes up more ink than usual. Let's get into the writing itself. As I mentioned, this is the 18 karat medium gold nib, which writes stellar. This is one of the very smooth nibs and has perfect flow, very tuned. I believe every Caran pen, especially in the gold range, is hand tuned and polished before sending out, because all the pens I've tried, they've always worked perfectly out of the box. So the only problem might be some people might not like the ink flow as much, because this is a relatively wet pen, especially as you go up in nib size. So you can get that adjusted obviously with the nib miser and whatnot, but usually the Caran nibs, medium and up, are actually very wet. And in terms of how the nib writes, it's a very comfortable nib. in terms of how it feels. It's very smooth, but just slight feedback, just letting you know that you're writing on the pen, you're writing on the paper. In this case, I'm writing on Tomoe River paper, and it feels very smooth with slight feedback to give you an indication of you're actually writing. But other than that, this is a perfect pen for me. The nib is just perfect. The reverse writing is pretty smooth as well, but I don't use that function that much. In terms of line variation, there's no line variation. The Caran Dodge nibs are not known for line variation, so there's nothing much more to expect from there. And Caran Dodge nibs tend to be on the wet side, medium and up. So this is a little bit more wet pen, as you can see, but which I like the most about this pen as well. This is a side view of handwriting to give an idea for people that enjoy the side view. As you can see, I'm not holding by the nib section, not because it's uncomfortable, it's because I just want to make sure you can see the nib. But you can hold it a little bit up sometimes or at the nib section. I alternate sometimes, depends on how I'm writing. If I'm drawing with it, then I go up a little bit more. If I'm writing, I go down. In terms of pros and cons of this pen, the first pro is the nib. The nib is stellar, there's no complaints there, it's reliable and just works perfectly. The size, in terms of the size, this is my perfect proportion for me personally, because it feels relatively good weight. It's not a lightweight pen by any means, and it just feels right on my hands. It might not on your hands, so it depends on you. I have medium-sized hands, but for my hands, the proportions of this pen is super balanced and just feels very comfortable in my hands. Now onto the cons. One of the cons for most people might be the weight. This is a heavy pen, so this can be a problem for some people. Another con is that you can't post this pen because it's lacquered. Trust me, you can't post it because I posted it thinking it was a strong material and I ended up scratching the barrel. So I would recommend not posting this pen because you might end up scratching your barrel just like I did. And the biggest con is the price. This version is no longer available, but you can get modern versions and they are very expensive. Retail price, they go from like $900 and up, but you can get secondhand for $500 and up, depending on the trim you're looking for and the nib size and whatnot. Like the blue version I have is on the rare side, so it can be hard to find, but they're still out there. In general, I really like this pen, so thank you for watching. Have a great day.